Hello, Casper. Absolute pleasure to speak to you, sir. We're here to talk about your new film, Monsters of California. I was just wondering, when you were first approached about the film, and you saw the title, Monsters of California, might you have thought it was about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry?
Yeah, okay. Monsters of California. No, I would never have thought that. I definitely thought of I thought maybe like the Munsters. I had thought of maybe like Frankenstein, but I was wrong on that one too.
The film features, it's got UFOs in it, it's got ghosts, it's got Bigfoot. Um, do you think these things exist and that they've been covered up in any way?
Oh, I hope so. I hope they exist. They should exist. And if we think the people that think that they know everything, they're the people I'm the most afraid of because the more I read, and I do like to read, the more I'm aware, and I'm talking about books and literature. I'm not just talking about the things that you see on the internet. But the more you read, the more I realize I don't understand anything. And the more I'm aware that there's so much more to this entire being than I could possibly ever comprehend. And I think even going back to when I was younger and I watched the $6 Million Man and I saw Bigfoot in there, and I was just like, oh my God, that would be so cool. And I had those toys, and I had that liking. Or when I saw Star Wars, and when I saw all these things that inspire us in life. The fact that scientists name ships or come up with ideas and go, oh my God, this could be great. Or even like Shinji Aramaki, who directed Appleseed, who then directed Starship Troopers 4 and 5, which were animated because he saw a book, Starship Troopers, that had a cover of an animated uh, jumpsuit on it, and then he later made Soundwave for the Transformers and all these other things. A guy like that is inspired, and then gets to direct Starship, which he was inspired him to become one of the mecha designers, top designers in the world at the time. When things can go full circle like that, because people are inspired by literature or the idea of something behind whatever was written. I think that yes, we should be open to the possibilities because who knows? And also, when you have Tom DeLonge, Blink 182, sending me things going, don't show this to anybody because I could get in a lot of trouble. And he's sending you footage that then gets released 2 years later. And people are like, oh my God, look at this footage of this Tic Tac spaceship. Like I saw that 2 years before it had been released. And Tom's like, don't show anybody. I'll get in some. And I'm like, oh my God. But then it comes out and you're like, wait a minute, this is, like, what if? The possibility of what if. And people are like, well, this is what we were, this is how we were founded, this is how we were discovered, this is what made us who we are. We don't know.
Well, Tom's quite obsessive about this sort of stuff, isn't he? So did he persuade you about anything in particular?
He's fascinating. Wonderful thing. I'm even wearing this to the Stars shirt. I'm still representing him, but he's so fascinating, so passionate, 100% believes it. And he said everything that I said, my character in the movie, was said in private meetings in the Pentagon and behind the scenes and everything like that. And so he's real characters, two different guys that said different things that my character says in here. Fascinating for me that people believe this and that are into this. So for me, I'm always interested because, we said that we didn't know that dinosaurs existed till we found bones. But then some people found bones earlier and they thought they were dragons. But, and somebody said today, well, I'm Scottish and I believe in the Loch Ness Monster. And I go, well, we have bones that prove that there were, dinosaurs that were that, but we didn't know what they were back then. And whatever people come up with, there's more than what we know now. And there's skeletons of giants that we don't know and different species of different things that we don't know. So what has existed? What has existed? What do we find sometimes? I'm always fascinated by that, and always open to the possibilities because I
So
I don't know anything. That's
so
the
what
beauty
about
of it.
things like conspiracy theories? Because conspiracy theories play into the film, don't they?
They do. I'm always wary of conspiracy theories, but also intrigued by some of them. But I think we've gotten to a place where sometimes it's more dangerous. Some of them are super dangerous because people will believe in over science. I do believe in science. I do believe in I do believe in literature, the arts, science. compassion, kindness, and being aware. But I do believe in open-mindedness, and sometimes the conspiracies can be a little bit overwhelming because some of them I think are dangerous. But some
Such
I don't know such a
such
such.
as.
I don't know. It's hard for me to think, because I know a lot of actors will make different political statements, and I am just an actor. So I'll be 100% clear on everything in here. I am an actor, and I do have my beliefs and my strengths and my weaknesses, but I don't know if I can call out people for what I believe sometimes is their ignorance or whatever without giving them a chance to learn for themselves. I think that people have to really I'll say this. I'll say this much if I'm going to go political at all, which I'm not really going political, but I don't believe in the banning of books and the shoving of ideology down anyone's throat. I believe in an open awareness and a dialogue where people can become, educated in a way that is more healthy. But I think that if people don't read, and I think if somebody tries to ban a book, then I'm more interested in reading it to learn more about it. I think literature is extremely important, and I think that we do need to learn from history so that we don't repeat it so much, and that we don't repeat the cruelty so much, but that we can learn from it to improve where we are and to move forward and to be greater than we were before. And I think also often in literature and in the arts and in movies and stuff like that, they can inspire people. Like there's ships and spaceships that have been named after different things that have been in the sci-fi world or different, different genres of movie making and things like that that inspire people to think outside the box and to be more creative. And I think when we can do that and we can inspire ourselves to be better, then we're better off.
Now, Area 51
Mm.
plays into the film a little bit. Did Tom persuade you of anything along those lines?
You know, I I'm extremely intrigued by all of that. I do believe that there's more than we know and more out there than we're aware of. And I'm sure that there's some things that people are afraid to share with people. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's some things. I don't know what it is as far as the conspiracy that goes on that. I don't know. And and also who's controlling what. I have no idea. I don't have any of those answers. But I do believe in the possibilities. I do believe in the possibilities. So I believe that I do believe things happen. I've seen some of those. I do love those alien shows. I'm going to say something like that. I do love those alien shows where they go into all the details and the depths of behind all of that and the conspiracies behind all of those ships and the spaceships and everything like that. And even if you read in history but even what different politicians have searched for, whether it's uh, religious or out of this otherworldly or interdimensionally, that different things that they've even poured research and time and effort into. For me, it's fascinating that that would even be uh, explored. But we should explore all the different things because we don't know. We have no idea what's going on. We don't really know where we 100% come from, 100% come from. But I do believe in I have evolutionary beliefs and scientific beliefs. My dad's a Navy pilot, was a Navy mathematic and science genius, but they also introduced me to dancing and arts and movies and theater and reading, and they're both teachers and you know, um, but you know, so I learned a lot of different things. So I'm interested in all of it. It's interesting. Now, going to Tom DeLonge, who is extremely creative, because he would come to me, he would go, Casper, in this movie, in this scene, da, 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 and he goes, this song is gonna be played. And he was like, this was, remember, all this was said in this meeting in Pentagon by this guy, da, 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 and he goes, and then when you say this, and then he'd hand me the earphone, and he'd have one in there, and as you're saying this, it's gonna go here. So every scene was musically directed. He had
Okay.
it all scored out, and to where you would go when you were talking, what it was going to do, basically. And for me, fascinating. So all these directors are all fascinating. And I would put Tom in a very creative category with them along in that way. I hope he does more, because for me, I was so fascinated by that. And I mean, I'm an actor. So as an actor, you're supposed to be very observant of those around you. And I completely know that I am. I'm a people watcher. I do it in real life, but I do it on a set too. I'm ADD, so I'm always like all over the place. But on that, I can be hyper focused on certain aspects of it, because that's like a superpower I have, I guess. I don't know if it's a superpower, but it feels like it, because it's like something that I can then go and focus in on and go, ooh, that really can. For some reason, I can zoom in on that, and I can see that. So for me, it was really interesting to watch Tom come in and direct like that, or Paul Verhoeven direct like that, or Tim Burton, who each detail would sit there and just go over and talk to everybody. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, what do you think? It's like, I really like this. And then they would say something, goes, oh yeah, that's good. Let's see. And we can do this. And so he would be involved. Never saw him ever get mad or angry or anything, but just passionate and just to encourage everybody in that. So it just fascinating for me. When I worked with Robert Rodriguez, basically I only had 2 days on the set with him, and I've been around him other times. But that guy is on top of everything, and everybody's on aware of everything, and he has everybody around him. You can see he's at the top of the game. But all he wanted to talk about was Starship Troopers the whole time. It was fascinating for me.
Everyone loves Starship Troopers. Um,
It is a blessing for me 28 years later still to